Okay, let's get into this deep dive. We're looking at a really specific, pretty intense piece of text today, Hosea chapter 7.
Right. And it's not like a big story, is it? It's more like a really harsh spotlight.
Yeah, exactly. Shown right on the inner workings of Israel at that point. It reveals some, let's say, uncomfortable stuff.
It definitely pulls back the curtain. You get this core picture of serious internal decay.
And misguided alliances, too, right?
Absolutely. Misguided alliances, this reliance on uh, external powers, and maybe saddest of all, just this huge disconnect from their roots, their foundation.
And the text just throws you right in, doesn't it? With the imagery,
Oh, yeah.
like comparing their hearts, their plotting to an oven that's just always hot.
It says the baker doesn't even need to stir the fire once the dough's ready.
Because the plotting, that internal corruption just keeps smoldering.
Wow. And what's really interesting is how the internal heat sort of pops up externally. Well, the text says any attempt to heal Israel, to fix things, it just exposes more sin, more crime.
Right. Deceit isn't subtle. Thieves breaking in, bandits in the streets. It sounds rampant.
It is. And you'd think, seeing all this chaos, they'd maybe connect the dots, realize the consequences.
But they don't. The text is clear. They don't grasp that their actions are remembered.
Mm-hmm. Their sins, it says, just engulf them. They're always visible, from that divine perspective.
And this corruption, this oven thing, it goes right to the top, doesn't it?
All the way. It says they make the king glad with wickedness, the prince is happy with lies.
There's that bit about the princes getting drunk at a festival, joining hands with mockers.
Yeah, inflamed with wine.
Yeah.
And their scheming hearts, like that oven again, simmering all night, and then just flaring up in the morning when they approach the king with their plots.
It's intense. It says they're all hot as an oven. They devour their rulers.
King after king falls. And here's the kicker.
What's that?
None of them call on God. None of them look upwards.
So if they're not looking inward or upward, where are they looking?
Outside. Ephraim, that's Israel, is described as mixing with other nations, which leads to that really memorable image.
Ah, the flat cake. Yeah, talk about that. What does that really mean? Burnt on one side, raw on the other.
It's such a powerful image, isn't it? It's about losing who you are, your core.
It's unfinished, unbalanced.
Exactly. Spoiled, really. It suggests they're soaking up all these influences from outside, from other nations, becoming kind of half-baked.
And neglecting their own substance, their connection to their original strength.
Precisely. Foreigners are literally sapping their strength, it says, but they don't even notice.
It's like getting old without realizing it. That line is stark. His hair is sprinkled with gray, but he does not notice.
That unawareness, that
Yeah.
inability to see their own decline, that's maybe the scariest part.
Yeah. The text says Israel's own arrogance testifies against them. But even with all these signs, the decay, rely on others, they don't turn back. They don't seek that foundational relationship.
Because their reliance is just wrong.
Yeah.
Fundamentally misplaced. Ephraim is like a dove.
Easily deceived, senseless, is that it?
Yeah. Calling to Egypt one minute, rushing off to Assyria the next, looking for help from the very powers the text says will trap them, like birds in a net.
Wow. So instead of turning to the reliable source, they're bouncing between these foreign powers who will end up being their ruin.
And the text says, woe to them, destruction. Because they strayed, they've rebelled. It even says, I long to redeem them, but they speak lies against me.
So it's not even a sincere cry for help.
Apparently not. They might wail on their beds, maybe gather for grain and wine, basic needs, but they're not truly turning back.
They've turned away from the one who trained them, strengthened them.
And instead, they're plotting evil. It's deep, systemic brokenness.
They're not turning to the highest source. They're like, what was it, a faulty bow?
Exactly. A faulty bow, totally unreliable. Can't hit the target, can't fulfill its purpose.
And their leaders fall because of their arrogant words. They become a joke, an object of scorn.
So if you step back and look at the whole chapter, Hosea 7 gives us these incredibly potent images, these nuggets, about a nation sliding downhill.
Right. You've got the pervasive sin, the deceit, that's the oven.
Mm-hmm. The corruption reaching the very top leadership.
Then there's the useless, damaging reliance on foreign powers. The mixing with nations, calling to Egypt and Assyria.
And that profound failure to just see it or to turn back. That's the flat cake, the unnoticed gray hair.
The faulty bow, yeah.
Those images really do stick, don't they? The oven for the internal state, the cake for lost identity, the gray hair for unseen decline, the bow for unreliability.
And it's hard not to think. You know, how these ancient descriptions, the deceit, the misplaced trust, not seeing your own decline, how that might echo today.
In society, sure. Or organizations. Maybe even in ourselves sometimes.
It really makes you reflect on that line. His hair is sprinkled with gray, but he does not notice. What are the signs of decline, or maybe the fundamental problems in our world, our communities, maybe our own lives, that we might be missing, or perhaps choosing to ignore right now?